then federal government can do it. Basically, that's a kind of a very, very loose interpretation. But everybody's out there saying that Obama is staking his legacy on this law. Now we're all about legacy. I mean, ever since the Clintons, it's all about legacy. What is your legacy going to be? Your legacy is important to everybody. You have to have a legacy that you leave behind. When you leave office, it has to be a legacy that we can all look back on with wonderment and pride. You know, I don't give a rip what a president's legacy is. And I don't think a president should worry about it. And I don't think the lamestream media should worry about the president's legacy. It's going to be what it is based on how he governed. And this guy governed terribly. I mean, he's an awful president. He's just awful. I don't know how else to put, but President Obama is awful. He's a terrible president. No, Rod, he's not a bad guy, really. He really cares. No. He's an awful president. His policies suck. They're damaging. And when we get a new president, and I know it's going to happen. All these people who elect a new president, when we elect a new president in 2016, and we may get a real conservative in there, they're going to expect him to fix all this mess in like a year or two. It's not gonna happen, folks. I mean, we're talking about this stuff is so bad and it runs so deep. It is going to take years, possibly multiple presidencies to fix. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be able to reverse this overnight. And this is one of the things I try to impress people who have this, love for only one candidate. Okay, what happens when that candidate can't run anymore in 8 years and everything isn't fixed? Well, he can fix it. He's going to fix it. No, I'm sorry. I don't care who Ted Cruz is going to fix it in 4 or 8 years. It's not going to happen. This is 60 years of screw up. I know there were a few terms of presidents in there where there was a halt, like Ronald Reagan years. There was a halt to this mess, but you're still looking at 60 plus years of liberalism running rampant. It isn't going to be reversed in 4 years. And not to mention, it's going to take something that is constantly done and battled over year after year. Well, that's kind of disheartening, Rod. Single freaking year. Well, that's exactly what you have to do. You have no other choice. It's not going to be reversed I know everybody's going to think, if Cruz is elected, he better straighten everything out the first 2 months. His first 90 days while he's there. And I'm telling you, that's not going to happen either. I don't care who the president, even Donald Trump gets elected. Donald Trump is going to build the wall. He's going to build the fence on the southern border. He's not going to do it in his first 90 days. That's just not the way our government works. There's no way to get it to work that way. I mean, you're gonna have people on the left that are gonna have all kinds of conniptions and start, suing the new administration over all kinds of things, and some of that stuff is going to have to work its way up to the Supreme Court, and that takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm just telling you. I'm not telling you this so that you lose heart or lose hope, but I'm telling you so you can have more realistic expectations. So you don't get frustrated and burned out and just, huff and puff in the corner someplace and pout. Because the last time Americans pouted, we ended up with Barack Obama. And then we end up with a law that was challenged and goes all the way to the Supreme Court, which everybody knew was just going to, there's no way that they could possibly find this to be legal. And they did. Oh, there's no possible way they can find all of these subsidies legal. And they did. So what else is next? Oh, there's no possible way that they could think that gay marriage is legal. And I'm predicting to you right now, they will. The course that this court has taken, they will find that gay marriage is A-okay. Well, there's no possible way. Well, yeah, there is a possible way. They will. No, don't doubt me, folks. It's going to be an okay thing. If they can find a way to secure the belief that Obamacare twice is legal, you don't think that they're not going to decide that gays have a right to the word marriage? Just saying, they can, you can ban, I bet you, people are going to try to sue to get the rebel flag saved in certain circles, and it's not going to work. And then somebody's going to just on a whim try to sue to get rid of other symbols or flags like the Soviet Union flag, and that's not going to work either. Because whatever the liberal minority decides is a good or if they decide it's bad, it's bad. If the liberal minority decides it's bad, then it's bad for everyone, and nobody can use it. So if the liberal minority decides that the Confederate rebel battle flag is bad for everyone, even in a bandana, then nobody's going to be able to have Plain and simple. I speaking of that, places like Amazon and eBay are saying they're going to stop selling, the rebel stuff, the Confederacy stuff, and it got me to thinking that there is a shop in Manchester, New Hampshire, that sells Confederate stuff. Now here's the rub. The shop is not owned by a white person. The shop is owned by a Latino. So here's a Latino selling Confederate rebel stuff, and he has no problem with it. Now, I got to tell you, look, there are a lot of, I find it interesting, there are a lot of blacks that don't have a big, huge problem with the Confederate flag. I'm one. The General Lee. Everybody remember the Dukes. Now, this is how stupid this is getting, folks. And this is really what gets my goat. Now, let me be clear. I do not believe that the Confederate rebel flag should be flying in any official or non-official capacity over any government institution or building or grounds. It should not be put up by the government. Absolutely not. It should not be in any type of government documentation, any portion or symbol portion thereof. Absolutely nothing of the Confederacy should be shown in official documents or flying in an official capacity anywhere in the United States, period. Should not. Let me be clear on that. Should not. However, for the general purpose of having the rebel flag, here's a story from Yahoo. You can say goodbye to the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes of Hazzard, people. There was a story also talking about, there was a columnist who says, well, we now should get rid of Gone with the Wind, both the movie and the novel. What are we going to start having film and book burnings now in order to cleanse our country of the Confederate rebel flag and any symbolism thereof? I mean, this is redonkulous, folks. In the wake of a deadly South Carolina shooting, it always comes back to this one incident. All of a sudden, this one little stupid punk of a kid decides to shoot up a black church. By the way, there's another story about a black church in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here it is. A North Carolina black church is set ablaze. No guns. No guns being used here. Arsonist targets predominantly black church in Charlotte, North Carolina. The story, it happened Wednesday morning. And we're just hearing the story is just breaking on Thursday. Although there were no initial indications that the crime was motivated by hate, officials haven't ruled it out. Fire investigator David Williams told MSNBC station WCNC. The blaze caused about $250,000 in damage. Now, Pastor Mannix Kinsey said the church's congregation has already forgiven the culprit. Already forgiven. Don't even know who it is. We don't even know who it is that set fire to our wonderful church. We forgive him. We forgive him. We forgive the arsonist. He shouldn't be, he shouldn't be arsonists in people's buildings like this, but we forgive him. Now, buildings can be repaired. They can be built over, Kinsey told WCNC. This is an opportunity for God to touch the hearts of the individual. You see, God can touch the individual of this horrific sin. It's sin. He done touched the house of God. The Lord is going to be angry, but the Lord will forgive, and we can forgive. It said the Lord will forgive, and we will forgive. And then you're going to have some fools out there that are thinking, why the hell are these black folks, forgiving these people? Well, because that's the heart of Christianity. It's forgiveness. But we have somebody out there, somebody torched a black church. So now we should get, oh Lord, it's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that. We need to get rid of fire. Because fire can be dangerous. Somebody can use fire. They'll use fire, in a racist way. They're going to use the fire in a racist way. So we got to get rid of the fire. Only the government can have fire. You peoples out there, you can't have fire. Because you can be racist, especially you white supremacists, man. You can't have, y'all think that you so supreme. You can't have fire. So we're going to take the fire. We're going to take all the symbolisms of fire down. So no fire flags, and no fire flies, no fire this and no fire that, no fire anywhere. Because fire is just evil. It's being used for evil. We're going to get rid of, you can't even say firearm anymore. Because we're getting rid of fire. Can't have nothing with fire in it. And we're going to jump up and down and praise the Holy Ghost that there's no more fire. We all going to freeze come wintertime, but hey, we'll all be saved and safe because there'd be no more fire. I don't, it's, I know that there are some people out there that are going to try to blast me for that one. But go ahead and try. I give you a free shot. You won't get very far. Just to let you know. So now they're attacking the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. Now, I want somebody to look at that program and tell me where there is any racism. Where is there any racism in the Dukes of Hazzard? Well, just some good old boys. Well, yeah, it's good. You know what they probably should do? Here's what, if they really want to get even and get back at the Confederacy and all that kind of stuff, you know what they should do? And I'm going to be totally serious here. They should do like they did with the torch. They should make Bo and Luke Duke, cast a couple of black actors to be Bo and Luke Duke and see, and a black Daisy, and see what happens then.